Hey, my name is Samar. Hey, my name is Samar, but I also go by Sam or First Time Panner. And there are people literally right outside my window, so I feel a little bit self-conscious filming this, but I'm going to anyway. This will be my attempt number 2 at a palette bingo, and this was supposed to, it is, but I originally last week filmed a palette bingo or palette roulette, whatever you want to call it, for my 100 subscriber celebration. I'm currently well past 100 subscribers, but I finally got around to doing it last week, and then I had to unfortunately delete the footage because I ran out completely of storage space on my phone, and the footage was an hour long, so I couldn't save it to something else or export it somewhere else, so I just had to delete it, unfortunately. I'll post screenshots of what it was kind of looking like and the final look, but basically I did a palette bingo with my Lorac Fairytale Forest palette, and my candle looks like it's not even lit. It is, but the wicks are just so low that the flames are barely burning, so you can't even tell. Anyway, I just keep looking at it in my screen and I'm like, that candle's not lit, but it is. Anyway, I'm randomizing yet again 5 shades from my Lorac Fairytale Forest palette, and last time I did it as not only a palette bingo but also a get ready with me. This time, so that it's not an hour of footage, I've already done all of my makeup except for my eyeshadow and mascara and stuff. So this video should only be about 20 to 30 minutes, hopefully. I also have some questions to answer because in my last Get Ready With Me, I mentioned I only got 1 question, and in that video, a bunch more people asked me questions in the comments. So I'll also be answering questions, but maybe not explaining as long as last time. But I'm just gonna get started for time's sake, and I'm using my Milani eyeshadow primer as always. And I'll be using my old phone to randomize the numbers. There are, I think, 18 shades. I should be using a mirror when I'm doing this, but I think there's 18 shades in the palette, so I'll be doing 5 of them. And last time I got a completely cool tone look, which is fine. I tried wearing as neutral of an outfit and jewelry and makeup as possible because I don't know what I'm gonna get, but last time I got all gray toned eyeshadows and I got 4 mattes and 1 shimmer, so it was really difficult to do the look, and they basically just all the mattes blended together so it looked like one weird shade, and then I had this super frosty shimmer all over my eye. So anyway, this is what we're working with, and hopefully I get at least some variety. But saying that, I feel like I'm cursing myself and I'm gonna get a bunch of shades that don't go together at all. So I'll pull up my phone. Hopefully it doesn't die while I'm doing this because I don't use this, so it wasn't charged, and I've just been trying to charge it in the last 2 minutes. Let me pull up a random number generator. I'll swatch these as I get them, and also I'm gonna, when I get the numbers, this will be 1, and then I'll go across in the rows and then go down to the next row and go from left to right, and the same for the 3rd row. So that's how I'll be counting my numbers. Let's just start. Okay, I'm kind of nervous. So the 9 is from before I changed it to 18. So the first one will be 7. I also just remembered I have the shade names on this piece of paper. So number 7, whoa, number 7 is 6, 7. So it'll be this one right here, which is really pretty. It's like a topper, and this is called North Star. It's the first one in the 2nd row. My lighting is still really terrible, so I feel like you can barely see it. Let me try to build it up a little bit. It's right here. It's just a topper shade, so you won't really be able to see it except for the sparkles. The second shade will be 17. So the second to last shade in the palette, which, okay, I had a feeling I was gonna get this. It's this blue shade, which is evergreen. So I guess it's like a green shade, but it looks blue. And this is what it looks like. So, yeah, hopefully I don't get any of the, like, at least hopefully I don't get that one reddish matte. Well, actually, no, they might look good together. I'll be happy with anything I get. I forgot to say also, I chose the Fairytale, my shirt is so wrinkled. I chose the Fairytale Forest palette. Well, actually, you all chose Fairytale Forest palette. I chose 4 of my larger palettes to do for a palette bingo, and then everyone voted, and this one and my ABH Norvina Pro 5 got the most votes, so I chose this one to do first. The third color will be, okay, the next one, 18. That is the deepest shade in the palette, which is Woodland, which is a purple. This is what it looks like. It's like my most used shade in the entire palette. I really love it. Number 4 is 12. Okay, it is this terracotta. It's like the reddish matte. So, I mean, I asked for variety and I got it. The last one, hopefully it's not too crazy. Okay, number 1. Oh, okay. I can't remember if I said that last shade was called Redwood. And then this one is called Birch. And it's, I don't even think this is gonna show up on my skin when I swatch it. This is what it looks like. Okay, you can kind of see it a tiny bit because it's a bit lighter than my skin. I'll just use that to set my eyeshadow primer. So perfect. Here's what the entire color story looks like. I honestly think this will be pretty fun to work with, but I'm gonna take a minute to actually think about how I'm gonna use these all together in the same look, and I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, I think I know what I'm gonna do. This is probably gonna end up turning out crazy, but I'll start out with putting Birch just all over my eye, which should be easy enough. And I'll start with the questions. So the first question I got was from Blue Turquoise. That's her @ on YouTube and also her username. And she asked me, okay, sorry, I had to go back and look at what she actually asked me. She asked me if, because I mentioned this in my last Get Ready With Me, where this question is from that video, if I would ever visit my family in Ethiopia, and have I ever? And yes, I have gone. I went back in 2019, so the summer of 2019 was the first and only time I've ever been to Ethiopia. I'm Ethiopian on my mom's side, and I went with my mom and my mother's mother. So the 3 of us went together, and we went to Addis, which is the capital of Ethiopia, because that's where my mom is from. It was really, really nice. We were there total for 11 days, and it was so nice to see the city. My grandma has been, but my mom had not been back since she originally moved to the US when she was 3 years old. So it was a nice experience for like myself to go for the first time. It was a nice experience for my mom to go back to the place she lived in as a young child. And it was nice for my grandma to go back, even though she's been, I think this was the first time she'd been back in maybe like 10 years. It was nice for her to go back to the place where she grew up and like go to a place where everyone speaks her native language. So it was really, really fun for us. We did visit family while we were there, but a lot of our family is already in the US, so it was mostly like visiting distant cousins, or like one of my mom's first cousins still lives there, so we met up with her a lot. And then my late grandfather's sister and her family and everything. So I'm going to put Redwood, I think, all over my lid. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Okay, I'm so nervous. It's not even that serious, it's just makeup, and I'm gonna wash it off after. So I'm just gonna do it. And I'm actually gonna use a mirror this time so that I can not mess up with red eyeshadow all over my eye. But yeah, it was really nice to like see everyone and see the country, you know, the motherland. It was really, really beautiful. We went up in the mountains. We went up in this like old, it was like one of those like old Volkswagen vans, I think. I think it's Volkswagen. But we went in one of those like old 70s style vans up to the top of this mountain. I was so scared because the path was so narrow and the truck or the van was so big, and people in Ethiopia drive crazy. Like, I used to think people in Europe drove crazy until I went to Ethiopia. They drive crazier, and I've been to Mexico multiple times. I've been to TJ, and they drive crazier than people in TJ. Like, oh my goodness. So I was kind of scared for my life when we went up the mountain, but we made it there and we made it back down, and it was so beautiful. Like, the mountain was definitely, for me, the most beautiful part of the country. I love mountains. You know, I'm from the Midwest. So we did that, and like, it's just such, it has such rich history. It has a lot of history, and I mean, I'm sure every single person says this about their country, but I just think like Ethiopia is like such a major part of history, so it's really cool learning about that. And I love history anyway, and that's like one of my favorite parts of going to different countries after eating the food there. And the food there was delicious, of course. It's a lot spicier there than in America, and even, trust me, if you ever had Ethiopian food in America, even if they say that's the real spice, it's not, because the food there was way spicier. So I don't want to talk about it too much because I'm gonna ramble and I'm not gonna get to my other questions. But yes, I have been, and I visited family, and you definitely should go if you've ever thought about it. It's so beautiful, and of course the people are really, really nice there. And I feel like that's kind of objective. Like, I'm not just saying that because they're like my people. The people there are really, really nice and respectful, and that has not been the case in every country I've been to. So yeah, even if like you don't know anything about the country and you think you'll be like an outcast there, you won't. The people there are so nice and welcoming. I mean, like, I don't speak any of the language, and they did not make me feel bad about it at all. So yes, I had a really good time there, and I would recommend the country to anyone to visit. I got 2 questions from Steph, who is still Steph on YouTube. Definitely check out her channel, by the way. And okay, the flames are still a burning. I keep thinking they're gone. But the first question she asked me is what I do for work. I think I'm gonna put that purple shade Woodland on my lower lash line. So what I currently do for work is I'm a lab technician. I work in a chemistry lab, so I was trained to work in a chemistry lab. I majored in general chemistry in university, and I did a fellowship, and of course I took like many different lab classes in multiple different like types of chemistry. So like bio, physical, organic, etc. But my main focus when I was in college was, my 2 focuses were organic chemistry and atmospheric and environmental chemistry. But what I do now is actually inorganic, which is like the one thing I did not train for as far as lab work. I feel like I literally did every other type of lab except for inorganic. So I had to learn a lot when I started working at the lab I am employed by now. And I would say battery chemistry is pretty cool. I mean, I don't want to sound like a total nerd, so I'm not going to go into it too much, and I also don't know the theory and the actual science behind it too much because I wasn't trained in it. I did take a circuits class and I did take inorganic, but I never learned exactly the type of stuff you need for battery chemistry. Anyway, I did learn so much when I first started at my job, and it took me a few months to really get the hang of things. And I really like what I do. I'm gonna try to like wing it out using like this eyebrow side of the eye. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm not of the eye pencil, of the eyeshadow brush. Wish me luck. I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, I like what I do because I'm not, of course, okay, I'm jumbling my words. I like what I do. I would say the fact that I don't know much about battery chemistry, once I like trained for the general everyday job, it didn't matter too much because basically what I'm doing is kind of what I trained for in undergrad. I took a lot of lab classes where you basically have to almost like forensics, where you have to use different chemical processes and your knowledge on different chemical reactions to like ID chemicals and produce a certain product, etc. And that's pretty much what I do now. I'm a formulator. So I take the synthesized product and I create formulations using that product to create the battery material. And then I also make the electrolyte and assemble the battery, and then I do different tests, yada yada yada. Anyway, it sounds more technical than it is. It's not easy, but it's pretty simple once you get the hang of it. I think that actually turned out pretty okay. I did get a little sloppy on this side, but that's fine. I kind of like how that looks. And now I'm gonna go in with the evergreen shade, and I'm gonna use my NYX glitter primer first underneath that. So yeah, that's what I do on an everyday basis, but I've also had like many other types of jobs. My job history is very extensive. I've done like administrative work. I was a personal assistant. I worked in a clinic. I was like a peer mentor in college. I was an orientation leader in college. I was an office intern even in high school. I interned at a university office in the academic department. So I've done like lots of different roles, but mostly what I trained for was being a lab technician, which is what I do now. So I'm gonna take that shade and just kind of put it all over my lid. This is very dark. Uh-oh, I'm like getting a little sloppy. Hold on. I'm gonna try to like blend the edges with, I wiped this side off and now I'm gonna try to like buff it in a little bit because it did get a little bit out of hand. I don't remember what I was saying. So I'm gonna go on to the next question she asked, which is, would I ever get a dog? And I think she asked that because I was talking about my cats in that video. And I would get a dog, but it would have to be like under very specific circumstances. First, I would never get a dog anytime soon because one, I am not allowed to have dogs at the apartment I live in. I'm only allowed to have cats, and the maximum is 2 cats, which I already have. So no more pets at all for me. And I also wouldn't really want to have a dog in an apartment anyway because I think dogs deserve like a lot of space to run around. Not saying you can't have a dog if you do live in an apartment, but the thing that I really like about cats, and that is really easy about cats, is they don't need to go on walks every single day, multiple times a day like dogs do. They don't need to be let out all the time to go to the bathroom. You just have a litter box and you change it regularly. So cats are a lot easier as far as like maintaining them, and also the fact that I have 2 cats makes it even easier because if I'm busy and I don't have time to entertain them constantly, they'll keep each other company, and Also when I leave town, I mean, obviously I don't leave them alone for like 2 weeks straight, but if I'm just leaving town for the weekend, I can just fill up their food and water and leave for 2 days and they'll be perfectly fine with each other. You cannot do that with a dog. I'm going to put North Star all over my lid, and I think I'm gonna put more, just like a little bit more glitter primer on top of that. So yeah, I think I would only get a dog, one, well, in the future, because first, I can't afford a dog right now. Two, I would have to have like a lot of space, or like my own house with a backyard, and probably like someone else to co-parent the dog with me, because I don't always have time for a dog. And then three, the dog would have to get along with my cats, because my cats were from the same litter, so they were already bonded when I got them. I got them when they were babies, so they already got along with each other, but I don't know how introducing a new animal into that dynamic would work out. I don't know if they would bully the dog or the dog would bully them. This is kind of cool. So that's what it looks like with the topper on, and this is what it looks like without. So yes, that is the answer. I would get a dog, but only conditionally. But I mean, I do really love dogs. My dad and my dad's girlfriend, I just kind of call her my stepmom, but my dad's girlfriend, they have a dog together. They had another dog together, and then they got a second dog together when their first one passed away. So I'm definitely, whenever I visit them, I'm like not the only one, but I do a lot for the dog. Like, I take the dog out for walks, I spend time with the dog, everything like that. So I do love dogs, and I love having a dog around. I definitely do love dogs. I think they're, after cats, they're definitely my favorite animal, like pretty much every other person on the planet. Yeah, they're really, really sweet creatures, and I just don't think in the place I am in my life now, I don't think I'm ready for a dog. Sorry, my pinky always cracks. But yeah, those were all the questions I got for now. I did get one other question, and it was asking if I could do a dedicated video on my cats. So I think in my next palette bingo, I'm gonna try to do one of these every month, but in my next palette bingo, I will try to make that video just all, here's a dog. Yeah, that's another reason I wouldn't really want a dog right now. The barking is kind of a lot for an apartment, which is probably why they don't let people have dogs here anymore. But yeah, in my next one, I'll try to do a dedicated video just about my cats. I don't know if it's gonna be the longest video, because I feel like I've already talked about them so much, but maybe I'll try to lock them in my room and like have them on camera. They don't really like being on camera for whatever reason. I'm going to put on some eyeliner and mascara, and then I'll be right back. This is the finished look. I think it turned out cool. It definitely could have been worse. I think the last one was worse because it just turned into a muddy mess. So, I mean, I swear it wasn't intentional, but I'm kind of glad I had to delete the last one, because this one is a lot better, and it's like half short, and somehow my candle is still burning. What a trooper. I'm gonna have to retire it after today, because it definitely it looks so sad. Like, the flames are half as big as they usually are. So this is what I was able to do with my Lorac Fairytale Forest palette bingo. There go the dogs again. The only thing I don't like is I tried doing the wings with this purple, and it just wasn't punchy enough, or like it didn't contrast enough, especially after I put on that dark blue green shade. But regardless, I'm pretty happy with the look. Of course, I'm going to take a picture of this and post it on the screen, but let me know if you happen to have any other questions that you want me to answer, and I will definitely answer them in some future video. And stay tuned for my next palette bingo slash palette roulette. I don't even know really what to call this. I'm gonna get it up sometime in May, and that one will be with my ABH Norvina Pro Volume 5 palette, which is the gigantic purple one. But thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video, which, oh sorry, all of my fingers just cracked. That's so gross. Anyway, my next video should be my monthly makeup recap, so stay tuned for that. I hope you have a great day. Bye.